I'm sorry, the referral an ordinance amending the City of Highland Park zoning ordinance to prohibit immigration detention holding
What was the
processing
motion?
staging facilities. Okay, so that is a formal, Madam Clerk,
You said it will come under 7B, right?
7B.
What was the motion?
The motion was to approve the agenda with
Right.
the single amendment. That amendment will be to add an item under council affairs, 7B.
Okay.
That item will be a sole referral to refer the workshop item back to
Planning and zoning
planning, zoning, and legal department.
on April 8th, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we have any questions, concerns, or dissent on the approval of the agenda? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on the approval of the agenda, including the amendment made by Mr. Ashafi?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. On to item 4. This is the approval of the proposed minutes for the virtual in-person regular meeting held on March 2nd, 2026. City Council, what's your pleasure on the minutes?
I move to approve the proposed minutes for a virtual in-person regular meeting held March 2nd.
Second.
So who wants it?
Second.
Call us, Mr. Ashafi has a second. A motion to approve. I hear no feedback, so questions, concerns, dissent? I take it as a roll call. Would you please call the roll for me?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. The mayor has let me know that she will not be at our meeting tonight. And I will pull up 2 minutes for those individuals who would like to make comments on the items on the agenda. There are 3. They're bids for pothole repairs. The finance department has provided us with an audit. We will receive and file the audit or not, and the resolution to issue an RFQ for audit services. The third item under city council is the table resolution, published before you punish moratorium, and the referral of the ICE detention facility ordinance amendments to city council. So I will set the clock for 2 minutes. If we have individuals in the room that would like to speak on those items. I see no hands online. I will take that as a no, and we will move into our meeting agenda, starting with item 5. This is the hot patch pothole repairs. City Council, what is your pleasure? Before we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is item 5. I'm going to read this. This is the advertisement for the bids. City of Highland Park, Wayne County, Michigan, hot patch pothole repairs. The City of Highland Park is seeking proposals from qualified and experienced firms or contractors that are able to provide the city with hot patch pothole repairs. Sealed bids must be received by 12 noon local time on Wednesday, March 11, 2026, to the clerk's office, to Ms. Brenda Green. Sealed bids will be opened on Monday, March 16, 2026, at the city council meeting at 7 p.m. All qualified vendors are encouraged to bid on all City of Highland Park projects. The City of Highland Park reserved the right to waive any irregularities, to accept or reject any or all bids, to accept the bids that, in the city's opinion, are in the best interest of and to the advantage of the City of Highland Park. No bidder may withdraw his bid within 90 calendar days after the date of bid opening. Copies of the RFP are available on BidNet or by emailing to R. Burgess at the City of Highland Park. Sealed bids will not be received unless complete information as required in the RFP package is delivered to the city clerk's office on or before 12 noon local time, Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. How many bids?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are these? They're saying the dates are, I'm reading what's on the paper here, saying the dates are wrong.
Yeah, it says about March 11th. If this is advertisement, hell, we passed March 11th.
Sealed bids must be This is the notice that went in the paper. I'm reading this for the public.
Okay,
This already went
It's
out.
already went into the paper.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has the bids on her desk.
Okay,
So I read this
Okay.
to inform the people what we're actually
Okay.
doing right now.
Yes.
Yep, yep. So right now, the chair
Oh,
will
okay.
entertain a motion to
So moved.
receive. We have a motion on the floor to receive the bids made by Councilwoman Manica.
second,
We have a second by Councilman El Shafi. Would you please call the roll on receiving these bids, ma'am?
Councilman Ashafi.
yes to receive the bids.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Go right ahead, ma'am.
3 bids were received. The first bid was received from Spray Patch MI located at 1333 East 11 Mile Road, Madison Heights, Michigan, 48071. I don't see a total bid. They had it broken down by streets and the price per street. So there's not a grand total.
Okay, duly noted.
The
How
second
many
bid
streets are we
was,
talking about? I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. How many streets are we talking about in that last bid? Please forgive me, Madam Clerk.
no problem,
Oh, yeah, they didn't give a total of kids by how many streets. they're talking
it's 2 sheets
about. Okay. Okay,
and it's not numbered, maybe about 50
okay,
approximately,
okay,
but it didn't give a number.
okay. All right, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Second bid was received from Major Contracting Group located at 15700 Dale Street, DALE, Detroit, Michigan, 48223. They gotta do a better job. That's what they're doing.
I mean, yeah. You're talking about them, not me, right?
No, not, no.
Okay, because what you need.
Again, there's no grand total. The price is per street.
Ms. Manica, please.
So by that, does that mean that, well, I guess we should wait to the third one and see if they do the same thing? So maybe that's how all of them are written and we have to add it up?
It says cold patch price to repair all potholes on the entire street. So for Avalon, it's the entire street for cold patch at $11,430. And for hot patch, for the entire Avalon Street is $10,600. And it gets every street has a different price. It depends on the amount of hot or cold patch that is required. But there is not a grand total.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question?
It just made more questions pop into my
It
head.
definitely made-
Building
He
department.
did that I didn't want to
It just
say.
made more
anything.
questions pop into my head.
It
When
goes
the,
back to how many streets.
yeah, when the, so that's one of those MCA questions when we get the engineers. I'm
Yes.
with 50 lines, I guess, again, they'll have to decipher this because not being an engineer and living in Michigan, I know we have a significant issue with potholes, and I am not familiar with the procedure. Hot patch, I'm assuming, has more to do with the weather than not, as well as cold patch. I think the process will be different depending on the
Okay, so
temperature outside. I'm just
third,
guessing.
Bid was received from SJR Pavement Repair located at 22120 Ryan Road, Warren, Michigan, 48091. And the total proposed price for this one, $392,350.
Now, look, I don't mean to interrupt. So why didn't the other two understand the assignment that the third one clearly understood?
I wish I knew the answer.
Okay, all right.
Yes, ma'am,
all
Ms.
I'm saying.
Manica, I see your hand.
So
Yeah,
again, what's in our description of what they should have in their bid?
I don't have a copy of the specs that was online.
Okay.
Urgent. I just did the advertisement.
So why don't I do it now? I'm gonna ask Mr. Burgess to provide us. I have so many more questions. Typically, this process is simple, straightforward, but I'm very confused.
Because the breakdown is the same as the other two bidders. There are various streets, but we did do a total bid amount.
So can I make a motion?
Those all,
To
That's the
receive and file, you sure can. Go ahead, to receive and file.
Council President, before we do that, Ms. Manica, is it possible that we could just send the third one to the administration for consideration? They clearly understood the assignment that the other ones did not understand.
So I get that, but I actually don't know what the assignment is.
Exactly. I'm asking Mr. Burgess for a copy of that right now.
There should have been a grand total on all three of those. By them leaving it vague, I feel like if they leave it vague, they can come back and give us a different price later on down the line. I don't
Unless,
like that.
unless if we look at the specs, if we find out that Mr. Burgess asked us for a per street cost.
Then the other two.
Yeah, because he could have given them a list of 51 streets and said, give me a per street cost. We don't know. So what I'm doing right now is I'm asking Mr. Burgess, can you send us a copy of the spec sheet that went out for potholes?
So are you waiting on, I'm sorry.
We should receive and file all
I
of
was
them.
gonna refer.
Mary,
I don't like that.
and send them to the department. Let the department review them, because we don't really want to be talking about their bids in public.
Exactly.
Because, there may be some negotiation, we don't want to, get in the way of that, so send them to the department, let them come back to council. With either accepting them, explaining why they're accepting them, or rejecting them and rebidding. To me, it sounds like, there may be some issues.
Yeah, so I just sent
Send
that.
them all and let them review them, and then come back to council with a recommendation one way or the other.
I don't think they're all gonna pass the snuff test, to be honest with you, but so everybody should have in their email box right now a copy of that email that I sent to Mr. Burgess. Hopefully he'll get it.
Motion to refer all bids to the administration.
I already made that.
You say support. Motion, she did make that motion. Motion was
support.
made
Okay.
by Councilwoman Manica to receive and file, supported by Councilman Ashafi. If you call the roll on that.
it's not received or filed, it's to refer.
I'm sorry, to refer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Councilman
So
Johnson?
it was the motion
Yes,
to
to
receive
refer.
and file?
To refer,
It
to
was-
Okay.
refer. I'm
Okay.
looking at something. I'm looking at the sheet below.
Okay.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, to refer.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes, to refer.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, to refer. Thank you for that correction too, because I'm reading.
Was there a bond required?
It
There's
didn't,
no
I,
bond, nobody submitted a bond.
No.
No.
That is
Another one.
also something that might.
None of the three submitted one?
So in that email, that
But
feel
they're
free to,
required.
Okay.
feel free to respond to that email and ask Mr. Burgess additional questions that you
Okay.
feel are necessary until you're satisfied.
Okay.
Okay, that's all of it.
Thank you so much. So, I got 2 copies, okay, I guess. Moving on to item 6, under finance, we have item A is to receive and file the audit that we received from the finance department. City Council, what's your position on receiving and filing this audit?
Is there gonna be a presentation on the audit? Is anybody gonna talk to us about the audit? Or we're just receiving and filing?
Well, we got to get a motion first, and then once it's open, we can bring Carl out. He looks ready. You got your helmet?
I move to, I'm sorry, I move to receive and file the audit with questions to Carl.
Support?
Second.
Okay, Carl, you're up.
I missed you guys. Good evening.
Ah, did you?
Yeah, I always
pleasure.
do.
Well,
So
that's why you're back.
exactly,
Always a pleasure.
love it, love it. So again, as the agenda item says, it's the annual audit of, and you'll see there's 2 of them this year. One is the small one is the single audit, which is the audit of our federal dollars. Because if you receive more than $750,000, of which pretty much all of it was related to the lead line replacements. The
So all the
state
money
grants that we
yeah.
got were highly subsidized by the ARPA funds. So those monies were received and they required a special audit of the federal dollars.
Gotcha.
So the one report is the how we spent those and how we complied with federal rules. And then the large one is our normal annual fiscal audit that is due to the state. So the single audit disclosed nothing significant as far as how we spent the dollars, which is great. And then on the regular audit side, one key thing worth noting is the pension levy, the judgment levies that we have out there. So if you recall, about a year and a half ago now, we received substantial money from the state of Michigan from the ARPA funds that they received to the tune of almost $30 million, which went directly into our pension funds, making our funding levels at or above 60%, which is the magic number for the state as far as being on the watch list. As far as if it's 60 or below, you have to file a plan and how you're going to fund it. And if you recall, as a result of that, the previous 4 or 5 years, we had to make an extra contribution out of our general fund over and above the judgment to the tune of $260,000 a year. So this last year, the 2025 audit that you have in front of me was the last year we're going to have to make that additional contribution, which is outstanding. So in the current fiscal year, there is no additional contribution. And in fact, we're taking that 260,000 and putting it aside into a capital fund to start building up funds for fire trucks and DPW car, police cars and all those kind of things. But the biggest part of this whole thing is that the judgment levy associated with those pension funds historically has been in the 20 to 22 mils range. So think about that. 20 to 22 mils was just related to the annual contribution towards the pension. So this $30 million we got from the state is actually going to reduce that millage. So in the current fiscal year we're in right now, it reduced it from 22 mils to 20. In the upcoming July 1 and December millages for this coming year, they will go to 10 or less. So a 20% reduction in the mills that our residents will pay on city-related taxes, which is outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah, again, that's outstanding. So again, it's not going to be your whole bill, because remember, your whole bill includes county and state and everything else. But the city share, which is the city share is over 45 mils, will drop by more than 10. So that is a huge increase. And again, it's something to celebrate that we're finally getting there. And that money is sitting there and solely being used for pensions. So that is the big thing here. And as we point out every single year, the other highlight is the general fund was was balanced. We actually had a small surplus there for the year, which is outstanding. Again, we budgeted and we came in less than we budgeted on the expenditure side. So again, increased our fund balance some. And then lastly, on the water and sewer side, we still continue to have basically zero money in our water and sewer fund. A lot of that is the lawsuits we continue to have with the stormwater for the land banks and those kind of things that we're still fighting. So we have a cash flow issue still in the water and sewer fund. But as you know, there we have the state looking over how we're setting our rates and blah, 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 blah. So it's the funds getting balanced. Now it's just a matter of collecting what's out there and then moving forward with that. So again, all of these grants, we literally have $30 to $40 million worth of federal grants that's we're using to replace all these lead lines. So that's outstanding. And again, the more of those replaced, the safer our water and sewer is for all of our residents. And at some point, we're going to have a brand new system because we're basically replacing everything, it seems like. So, but those are the highlights there. Again, not much else to comment on, but you'll see that as we roll into budget, that 260,000 will be gone, you know, so that is really huge. And again, most importantly is when we do the millage rates, you'll see a substantial reduction. So.
Sure. Go ahead, Mr. Shafi, and then Ms. Manica.
We're good on the ACO. That's being paid with no problem. Even though we're having a zero balance in the water, the ACO is being paid.
ACO.
The deal that we struck with the state for.
Oh, yes. All the bills that were required, the agreement that we have, yes, that comes out before we get any of our funds. So all of those invoices are paid on a monthly basis by the trustee. Yes.
Can you speak a little bit? I did a little bit of reading. Can you speak on the internal controls in which the audit speaks about?
Yeah, so the city, because of our size, is limited, you know, so there's some internal controls that we can strengthen and we need to strengthen. But because there's only 2 of us in the finance department, it's difficult to do those. So we are working on those. Actually, been working with the attorney on some of those things. Some of the ones you mentioned last year, as far as a policy for credit cards and a policy for, there was a couple, 2 or 3 policies. I think we've addressed those and knocked those out. And actually, the one related to the life insurance policy, I think we're close to resolving that one as well. So we're slowly getting to those, but it's just difficult with the limited staff.
What about our bonding? How we're looking on our bonds?
So again, that's not an audit issue per se. So as far as the individuals being bonded, that's not something the auditors would have looked at.
Okay, so then too, let's make sure that we go ahead and ask your question, Ms. Manica, because we're only supposed to be receiving and filing. I have frayed the lines a little bit to make sure that we can open this up. And of course, Carl, set your schedule. As we get into budget season, you already know what time it is.
I'm at your availability.
Ms. Manica, you had something before I call for the vote?
Yes, I just wanted you to repeat the part when you say to the fire trucks, there would be money that we'll be able to use for the fire department.
So
what year did you just say that?
Well, so the $260,000, what we did for the year we're in right now, that expense is gone because of our pension funding level. We no longer have to make that. So what we did is that same dollar amount, we transferred it into it's called a capital projects fund, so that it's available to this body and the administration to present to you of now we have 260,000 set aside specifically for capital related items. So you'll see there'll be recommendations in the budget presented to you on how to spend that.
Okay.
And the plan is going forward that same amount just to keep funding and setting that aside. Because as you know, our biggest challenge here is once we have operations balance, now it's how do we pay for all of the, our capital needs, which is substantial.
Yes, it is.
Can we make sure that the gentleman that did the presentation from Yo and Yo is here again?
Okay.
Same guy.
Yep.
So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take the roll on the receive and file of the audit from the finance department. This motion was made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by Councilman Shafi. If you will be so kind, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Shafi,
Yes, to receive and file.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item, thank you so much, Carl.
Sure, thank you.
Moving on to item 6B, this is a resolution to issue a request for a quote for audit services. City Council, what is your pleasure on this resolution to issue a RFQ for audit services?
Is Gio not working with us no more?
No, Yayo still, they are.
Okay,
Their contract is expired.
They have to, you have to get an RFQ out every time.
Yeah,
okay.
not every time.
Well,
They
at
had
the-
a 3-year contract,
Sorry.
and they had 3 option years. And those years are now up.
Okay,
And this year we paid them $92,000.
okay.
And so we need to,
Relook at it.
we need to go out
Evaluate.
and get some prices because that's a lot of money.
Okay.
And, not that they haven't been a good auditor or
Mhm.
all of that, but we have technical issues of audit was late this year because of this, that, and the other thing. And we had 2 audits and they had staff problems and we had illnesses. And it's $92,000 and it's expired and we need to shop that price.
All right.
And the
Motion to
governmental
approve.
accounting standards board also recommends at least 3 to 5 years that you rotate your auditors as
Mr.
well. So-
Ashafi, when you first out of the gate with that, you made. the-
Yeah, motion to
We
approve.
have support from Mr. Ashafi?
Second.
So let's call the roll on that. Resolution to approve. We have support from Councilwoman Manica. Let's go ahead and take a quick roll call on that.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
To receive and file?
This is a resolution for an RFQ for audit services.
Oh, yes.
Thank you,
Council
ma'am.
President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, so on to item 7. Before we get into item 7, members of council, we have an item that was tabled on the 17th. It needs to be removed from the table. And I don't know if the legal department has had access to this to publish.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Okay, you reviewed it. Okay, cool. And then after that, we have the referral to planning. So,
Motion to remove from table.
okay, we have a motion on the floor made from Councilman El Shafi to remove from the table. Do we have support?
On city council? Yes, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Support.
Could we go ahead and take the vote on that? This is a motion to bring this item back from the table.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
No, motion carries. So let's, now that the item is on the table, city council, what is your pleasure on what we do with this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Support with questions.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor made by Councilman El Shafi to approve this resolution. We have support from Councilwoman Martin. She has questions. Ms. Martin, would you please be kind and share with us your questions?
Absolutely. So my question is, Mr. Bosnick, did you have a chance to look of this resolution and all the ordinance published?
I approved the resolution as.
That's the form.
With regarding to whether ordinance is already published, every ordinance is published by the clerk in a newspaper general circulation prior to its second reading and adoption. So,
You said every ordinance
yeah.
is already on there?
Well, the clerk has to publish every ordinance in a newspaper general circulation before it's passed and adopted.
With,
And I-
right, with a
and I
new
know that
ordinance.
Currently, like, yeah, if there's a new ordinance, for
Right.
example, let's say there's ordinance passed, you'd have your reading, it'd be published prior to adoption by the clerk's office in a newspaper general circulation. And my understanding is that ordinances currently are available online.
You said they're all available online?
Yeah,
All
so
of
not
them.
only have they been published at the time of their enactment in the newspaper general circulation, they're currently available online.
Okay, got that. Okay, so I do remember one of the residents came in not too long ago. I did look for one for fencing. I did not see it. I even looked on there today, didn't see it. And then there was one that a resident came in and was talking about receiving a ticket for being parked on his lawn. I didn't see any ordinance that said anything. Now, I did receive an email that was addressing for 1220.08 number 4. Did you?
I couldn't really speak to that specific one, but where that gentleman may have had an issue is if he had some sort of infraction that was picked up that was a violation of the Uniform Traffic Code or some sort of standard building code or maintenance code. Those are really large documents that are usually adopted by reference.
Well,
So you would not have your entire like fire code or building code online, but you would have the ordinance that adopted that document.
okay, so I went online and I went online and it's under, you click on, first it was emailed to me and then you click online, it says one of the most what is it, enforced codes. And this is what pops up. And can you, I'm gonna give one to city council, each city council member. But what I wanted to ask is, would you interpret, because I read it and it's interpreted differently. We all interpret this differently. So I got some extras. I'm gonna give some into the
I
audience.
need another two.
So hold on just a second. So let me pass this out real quick.
The president needs one. That's why I said that.
Give some more out to the audience because it reads a little different.
Now, for
And this is something that can also be found online.
in support of what you're doing, that's exactly what I'm pulling up right now, and it took me 2 or 3 clicks to get to this.
I just said in one
Yeah,
click,
it
it
took
pulled up.
me-
I didn't disagree with you. It's
Okay.
not highlighted.
Right.
It's not highlighted, but I did say that the most enforced, but that's not what I'm asking.
Yep.
What I'm
Go ahead and
asking is,
enforce,
Mr. Bosnick, if you can read what's highlighted, because hold on one second, let me
Yeah.
finish. I read it with another resident and we interpret it 2 different ways. So if you could please, you being legal, could you interpret?
Well, you're
the
giving this to
understanding.
me in the middle of a council meeting,
And
I'm-
no qualified lawyer is going to
I mean,
interpret.
there are words on the page, and you pass the pages out. It appears to be
Just a highlight.
some sort of requirement regarding what a parking space structure should be. What would be an appropriate surface
Right.
to?
Okay, I interpret it the same way. That
Okay.
it's more like an egress on how the parking structure should be to the building, correct? Did you understand it the same way?
This is like, I don't understand what we're doing here. You could have given this to me anytime in the last 2 weeks, and I could have written you a little memo on it, and you're giving it to
It
me in the
wasn't
middle of a
always
council
on there.
meeting.
It wasn't always up there.
No, that's been there. I had this document.
No, it was not. No.
I
it
was the
not,
chairman
Mr.
of the
President.
zoning board for 8 years.
No, it was not. I looked it up myself.
Listen, the copy
It
that I
is
have.
there now, but
No,
it wasn't always
copy
on
that
there.
I'm looking from is dated it's not dated 2026. I'm gonna go to the top of this page. This document is from July 18th, 2011.
Doesn't mean it was published.
No,
I'm
you
talking about
understand.
published.
The copy that I
Mayor,
downloaded,
I'm
the
sorry,
copy
not
that I
mayor,
downloaded,
Mr. President,
the
it
copy
wasn't
that I downloaded.
published. I didn't say that it wasn't adopted. That's adopted
Okay,
date.
ma'am.
I'm talking about
So let me
published.
just,
Two different things.
so I'm gonna show you something, okay?
It's not published the same day it's
Every document
adopted.
that happens in city of Highland Park is published. These are our proposed minutes. As soon as we're done.
We're
they're
not talking about
published.
minutes.
Listen,
We're not
please. I'm
Mr.
supporting you.
President, we're
I'm
having 2
supporting you.
different conversations.
I'm trying to help you here.
No,
I'm
you're
try-
not. We're
I'm-
having
I'm
2 different
absolutely trying to help
conversations.
you. I'm absolutely
Mr.
trying to help
President.
you.
We're having, no,
God,
you're
this
not.
is
We're
the
having 2
last
different
year.
conversations.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
I'm not talking
I'm
about
gonna
your,
stop trying to help you. I'm gonna let you do what you're doing. I'm gonna
we're not
stop.
talking about minutes.
Ms. Margaret, so the resolution that you have is publish before you punish.
Correct.
Every single action that this city does that requires public record is published immediately.
No, it's not.
So
No, it's not. It
the
wasn't
point
on
that
there
needs to be
before.
made is if we had, when we first got here, decided to dig down into the muni codes like we were warned to do in March of 2023, if we had done that, what you're asking for would have already happened, but we have not. You haven't asked for it. You have not asked for it. You asked for the packets to be published. You can publish them. You can put the information up online. You have not done it.
Okay, give me the access. I can do it. Okay,
People
Okay.
people post, the access is always there. All you have to do is create the documents and say, here are the documents. We get this. All you got to do is scan it.
the documents are already created.
Council President.
You're right. I'm going to stop helping. Okay, so it's off the table. We
Council
have a motion
President.
on the floor. I'm turning it over to you in 1 second, Mr. El Shafi. We have a motion on the floor to approve this resolution. And we have support made by Ms. Martin. Were you able to get all of the questions that you needed answered before we call for the vote? Because I'm not in a position to answer your question, so I'm gonna defer. I
Right,
was
that's
trying to
what,
help you, but I realize
Right.
you don't
go
want
ahead.
my help.
That's what, we're having two different conversations.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to have one.
What I'm saying is I'm not even understanding why that was emailed to me. And then Mr. Bosnick interpreted the same way I did. We interpret that the same way. It is interpreted no differently than the way I interpret it.
So
Point of information.
please,
I had my hand up, Council
Oh,
President.
I'm sorry,
madam.
Mr. Ashafi, please go right ahead.
Okay. So, Council President, I do understand somewhat of what Ms. Martin is stating, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of ordinances are online, but some of the newer things that have been done are not online. I still have
You are
not
correct.
been. Sir?
You are correct.
Okay, so what I'm simply saying is I still have not been able to find, luckily for me, being a council member, Miss Square, I don't know where she found it, but she gave me a copy of the rental ordinance. I still have not found that rental ordinance in the muni codes or online anywhere. But
We don't
Ms.
have
Square
one.
was- I'm simply,
Go
I
ahead.
thought we had the old one.
I'm.
You talking about the previous ordinance? You talking about the previous ordinance?
That's what I thought.
He didn't specify.
Okay, so uh, all I'm simply saying is I get it, you know what I'm saying? That maybe with a little bit more time and a little bit more effort, we could possibly get everything online for residents to look at and have a better understanding of the rules and the regulations of this city. I do agree with Ms. Martin that a person should not be penalized for not knowing something if the law has not been made available to them. But
could
this
not agree
is
with you more.
America. And in
not agree
America,
with you more.
ignorance of the law is not it's not an excuse. or excuse me, or it's not a legal defense. Okay, so I encourage every resident to do their due diligence to try possibly to get to the ordinances in which they need to get to know what they need to know. But we need to do a little bit better job of making that accessibility better available to the residents. And I yield back.
I don't disagree at all with anything that you said. And as a small, poor town, the last people that we should be policing hard are our residents. I am not in favor of people receiving tickets for infractions that they're not aware of and not being able to locate where said infraction is. I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
It's not cool for anybody. It's not cool but when we're, instead of making it easier to streamline the process and get what we have registered to add, so this resolution, published before you punish, is kind of redundant. We have to publish any modifications to the ordinances. I get where you're coming from. We should spend this energy in the process of getting the muni codes updated. It's already paid for. All we have to do is put wind behind it. And we have not. We've been focusing on everything else other than making sure that the municipal code is updated to where people can access it readily. Nobody should get it. They started taking pictures of your license plate to show you that you went through the toll, right? You shouldn't, you never got a ticket in the mail and no one had anything to prove.
Right.
That came out of people saying, how am I going to get a toll ticket for
Right.
going through the Jersey Turnpike?
Right.
So I do not think it's cool for people to get tickets and not be able to find, hey, what did I do wrong? There's nothing
Right.
here. Like, how do I know what I did wrong?
Now we're in the same conversation, Mr.
So,
President.
but again, this resolution is a resolution it's a redundant resolution, which is why I voted no to bringing it off the table, because it doesn't fix what you want fixed. But if there's any other discussion on it, that's fine. We can go ahead and call for the vote on this item, and it'll be up to the pleasure of the members in the room. I'm ready to call for the roll on the approval of the resolution that was tabled on 2/17 from the February 17, 2026 meeting. This is the publish before you punish moratorium on the enforcement of ordinances prior to publishing. The motion was made by Councilman Ashafi. It was seconded by Councilwoman Martin. We have a question before I call for the roll.
There was no question. I asked a point of order, though.
I'm so,
Information.
you know what, Ms.
On
Manning?
Information.
This is my second job today.
That's
Forgive
okay.
me. Go ahead.
That's okay. I just want to know, if by the chance, now my point of information has changed because it has been answered and to be redundant. But now I'm asking, is there a need to vote or just take it?
It's
Take
off the
back.
table. There's a motion
no,
to
no.
approve made by Councilman
Hold
O'Shaughnessy.
on, I wanted to hear what she was gonna say, Mr. President.
She asked us that we need to take a vote. Her answer to your question is there's a motion on the floor. We have to address it.
I thought you said, but you said, or. You about to say
Or
something? Right.
just take back the motion to approve it.
Oh, well. That's up to members. I just work here.
What do you
If
mean?
it did your questions and the answers to those questions and the statements that have been made, did that make this null and void? So do we really need to vote on it, or you still want to vote on it?
So we voted to move it off the table, right?
Yeah.
And then there was another motion made
To
to approve it. But if you rescind your motion and rescind your support, then it's done.
Council
then-
Or
President,
did you
then-
just still want to vote?
No,
That's
and
my
then,
question.
okay, so if it's, we say, we make a motion, we rescind it, it's done, then what? Are we still, where does that leave us? Are we
Council
still
President.
publishing, not publishing, enforcing tickets that are for ordinance that aren't published? What do we,
So
Council
then now
President.
I'm back to my point of information. Is this to offset the fact that we have Muni Codes is working on this? Am I correct? Isn't Muni Codes working on our ordinance? Am I incorrect?
Mr.
with that?
Clyburn could speak to that, but he's not here. He didn't anticipate being here to answer that. I see your
Okay, I
hand, Mr.
believe that
O'Shaughnessy.
they are, and they're going through each and every one, which takes a little while. We didn't decide, we kind of prolonged that, and we didn't decide to have them start to do that until what, last year?
If then, yeah.
Or the end of last, somewhere in there. And so now I feel like we're saying, okay, I guess they're taking too long. I'm not sure what we're saying, but
no, we're,
at the same
go ahead.
time, we're able, after a little bit of research and et cetera, we're able to find those ordinance or where they are. And in this case, it was just a matter of interpreting what the statement is, which, and indeed, everybody's going to interpret things differently. So my just question was, I guess, really, did you get your question answered?
So,
You
so-
kept trying to have the attorney say that he interpreted it the same way you did.
No, I wasn't trying to get the
know what
attorney
he
to say
said,
anything.
But I'm just saying,
no.
do we need to vote?
So,
Let's just
no,
put
hold
it
on.
there. Do we need to
So
vote?
I wasn't, there's nothing I was trying to get the attorney to say. I just wanted to understand his interpretation and it matched mine. So that's one. Two, what the publish before you punish is, there's tickets that's being enforced where you can't find where the ticket matches the ordinance that's in the city. So, it should be, hey, the standards that we're holding residents to, it should be able to be found on the website. Like the website is don't get me wrong, the website is better than it was.
Absolutely. It's a
Way better
website.
than it was. So whoever's putting the website together, it's coming together. It just hasn't arrived yet. What I'm saying is the tickets that are being written and you can't find where you sit up there, and even what was sent to me, what I gave to you guys highlighted, it doesn't still speak on, residents receiving tickets for being parked on their grass. It didn't
Miss
speak to that.
Martin,
Can we take-
I'm going to ask the code enforcement officer. When I ask Mr. Malone myself, I'm going to ask him to, just like we get a report of the number of fires and number of car accidents, I'm going to ask Mr. Malone just for 2 months to give me his numbers on the violations that he sends out. I'm going to ask him for that so we can quantify. It's a part of the process. You need to be able to show the scale, the proportion, and the impact of what this is talking about. Because if it is occurring on a very limited basis and it goes up for interpretation at 30th District Court, then I am aware of a number of infractions being thrown out on the basis of not the court nor the city wants to punish the residents for living here. So I am aware of a lot of tickets being thrown out on the basis of making a repair to whatever the issue is, as opposed to facing a court fine. But I'm going to ask Mr. Malone to give me 30 days, maybe 60 days worth of information on the number of tickets that he writes so that we can put some sort of mathematical computation on the impact of this. And that will provide us a number of clarity for whoever it happens to. If it happens to two people, for those two people, that's a big deal. We need to know. I'm saying if it happens to one person receives a ticket that they can't find the source for, that's a problem, definitely for them. So we need to find out how often is this happening. If this is happening in smaller numbers, then maybe there's something that we can do in addition
Okay.
to, but I'm saying, so we need to be able to find out what the scale of this problem is. And I also wouldn't be against having a conversation with Judge Officer to understand what is their recourse in a situation where they didn't know that they were outside of the law. People could say whatever they want to about Highland Park, our laws are loosey-goosey. There's been a lack of enforcement. So if you do something long enough and it's not harmful to you or to your neighbors, you might think, hey, this is okay. A lot of people do that. You
Yeah,
find a
that's
lot
true.
of people, but they didn't
Right.
necessarily know on the books is a civil infraction. When's the last time? There's only been a new administration. This is the first time in 12 years there's been a new administration of any kind. It's the first time in 16 years that there's been a complete new city council. So there's no, you can say whatever you want. There is no case history. We're 3.5 years in. That's it. That's nothing. We really haven't done much. So to your point, Ms. Manica's question, it's completely up to you. The motion is on the floor. I'm ready to call the roll. We can vote. We can do whatever. Let's move through.
All
Because we're
right,
doing.
let's call the vote.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting patiently, Council President.
Let's go. So would you please call the roll on the,
Council President, I've been waiting patiently.
you sure have, you know what? Mr. Al-Shafi, my deepest apologies. You want to address us or you want to get this
Yes,
vote going?
yes. So I understand how everybody feels here, but to Ms. Manica, I will say this: the resolution is on the table.
Mhm.
It's been moved, it's seconded. I don't think that the residents have time to wait. And I don't see any harm in putting a little fire under somebody's butt to speed up the process so that they could be better informed as to what's going on in the city so that they don't break the laws. I think that this is something that is already here. I don't see a harm in voting on it. If the mayor does not like it, she has the authority and the right to veto the measures. I feel that we should go ahead with the vote. And I yield back.
With that said, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on item 7B? This is, I'm sorry, 7. It is still 7A, and that is a resolution to approve the publish before you punish moratorium on the enforcement of ordinances prior to publishing.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
No, thank you very much. The motion does not pass. Moving on to item 7B, that is a referral of the ordinance. Second.
Motion to move to planning.
We have a motion on the floor from Councilman Al-Shafi
Second.
and seconded by Councilman Martin. It is an ordinance amending the City of Highland Park zoning ordinance to prohibit immigration detention, holding, processing, and staging facilities, providing definitions and providing for enforcement. The motion has been made by Councilman Ashafi, seconded by Councilwoman Martin to refer to planning. Would you please call the roll on that, ma'am, unless you have questions, Ms. Manica?
No, I was saying second, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Go ahead.
Go right ahead. Call the roll on item 7B for me.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
President Thomas.
Yes. Okay, so that is all of our agenda for tonight. I will say, before we get into citizens' participation, that I will, depending on what time, where we are in the calendar, make sure that when this comes back from legal and from planning commission, that we hold a workshop on this item, and that depending on what meeting it is, that the outcome of that workshop will allow that item to be voted on at the next meeting, whenever that occurs. The assumption is that we have a meeting on the 8th, the 6th. Okay, so sometime in April, I will make allowances, but we also need to know that we have budget coming up. So I'm just conceding now that whenever it comes back, we'll have a workshop on it for those modifications. I'm going to set the clock for 2 minutes. And then I will start with the people that are online. We have Mr. Mark Ashley Price. Would you unmute yourself, sir, for citizens participation? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mark Ashley Price. I'm a CDC member and the ambassador of the Highland Park School District. I just wanted to call in to remind everybody about the State of the City address that's going to happen on Wednesday, given by the mayor. And also, my second point was about everybody getting along. I know this is election season, and I just want everybody to get along. No mudslinging, none of that. I just want positivity, all across the board. I know yeah, I guess that's pretty much my point. Peace and love to everybody. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, members of the audience. We have members of the audience for public comment. All you gotta do is come to the podium, man. I'm only a teacher during the day.
Good evening to everyone.
Good
evening,
evening.
ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity to approach you. I
Could you-
wish this had been passed out earlier.
Could you state your name, ma'am?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Doris Harris.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I wish this had been passed out prior to now so that I could have spoke on it in first citizen participation. I'm not sure. I didn't quite understand, but I only have 2 minutes, so I'm gonna be quick. So this ordinance is not applicable to the homeowner because first of all, we need to establish when did the law change from the state mandate how things should be, and then the journeyman, the contractors, they have the guideline. So many driveways in Highland Park may not have the 4 inches. So is this the tickets that you are concerned about? Are they based on new driveways, or is they going back in the past? And what device is the person that coming to the property is using to determine the 4 inches? You will have to dig the ground up to know that it's 4 inches. The mandate by state and every city, it must be, every driveway must be 4 inches depth in here. So when he write a ticket, he should not write it to the resident, he should write it to the contractor that did it. And the city may should follow and has been expected to have a permit before any work is done. So excuse me, sir, because of time, I have a question concerning what Carl said. So I would like to know when that audit be available for viewing for the citizen. And I need clarification concerning when the 30 million was received by the city. And prior to Ms. Square coming here, we, the citizen, had entered into agreement to pay off a long outstanding debt for the pension. So the pension that he was talking about, is it different from the one that we as citizens agreed to do on an emergency manager? So maybe someone can reach out, Ms. Square can reach out and talk to me later about it. Please, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Got other citizens?
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Sydney Spite, Parker Pride Foundation. I want to thank you guys for doing what you did to try to make this parade a success on Woodward. I want to really thank you for allowing me to be a walk-on. That was really, really nice of you to do that. And that showed your heart in trying to keep this parade and making it bigger. But I want to inform you guys that we can't have it on Woodward. I don't want to go into the details, but everything, all the checks was balanced. Ms. Green sent me you guys information. I was about to submit it and just got a phone call. It can't be on Woodward. Maybe one day we'll go through the formalities of it, but I'm saddened because I did a lot of work trying to get it on Woodward. I got you guys information. I was going to submit it to you guys, but it got killed. So it's on Hamilton. The city is upside down. It's work being done everywhere. along with that building being torn down on Massachusetts. That was one of the problems, but we could have got around that. It's going to be on Hamilton. We're going to start from Manchester to Monterey Park. Monterey Park will be the staging area so the kids can have some place to play. We're going to block off the street. It's going to be from 3 to 4 on Hamilton. We're trying to get the Wayne County stage. It's going to be like a block party. That area between Tuxedo and Monterey will be the staging area, bounce arounds. We're buying the food trucks. It's going to be food for everybody for free. We're going to do exactly what we did before. We're going to try to add other things to it. But I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to try. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. We got applications. You guys want to be in the parade? We would love to have you in the parade. Whatever we can do to have you guys there. We got to get you a car or whatever. We'll try to figure it out. But I would love the city body to be in the parade. It's a Michigan Week parade. We can also make it into a Highland Park celebration.
Give me an El Camino. I might 72, 73. Some trues involved.
It's out there.
I'm from the east side.
It's out there. Might not have no wheels on it, but it's out there.
We'll have somebody carry you in.
Greatly appreciated. You are greatly appreciated.
Thank you, guys. And Ms. Green, thank you for getting that email to me as fast as you
tried to be
did.
an elephant, and
And I told City
hold the
on the
plate.
phone exactly what was going on, and she was saddened as well because she was in the band with me.
Yeah.
So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm gonna need some applications. I got a couple of businesses that were asking me about the parade and they want to be in it, Sydney.
Sponsoring as well.
I'll ask, but I need some information.
I just was informed by officer, and he said that the city put a bolo out there that was gonna be on Woodward today. I don't know how that went out before I said my spiel, but he read it that it was gonna be on Woodward. We gotta change that fast. You got a lot of people on Woodward looking for a parade, they ain't coming down. That's gonna be embarrassing.
It is. You have anybody else for citizens participation?
MDOT don't know about it because we just contacted MDOT and told them that was, so.
I see nobody else coming to the podium, so we're gonna move into council affairs, starting with the councilman from the 3rd district. Go right ahead, Mr. Bishop.
Okay, HP, so I'm gonna give you a quick highlights because I need you to be concerned. And it doesn't work if I'm just concerned, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm concerned about your school district. You need to be concerned about that. Okay, where else are we gonna send our children? If that goes, where else are we gonna send our children? Okay. They need insurance and they can't seem to get it.
We have insurance.
Do you have it now?
We never last.
Okay.
Every March.
That's not what I'm hearing from the state. Okay, but, all right. I'm concerned about your court, okay? And I mentioned that to you earlier before, you know what I'm saying? As much as I don't like the court, I don't want to see it go nowhere. Okay, so I'm concerned about the court as well, too. It's so much going on in this city. There's so many fires that are burning in this city, and I need you guys to pay better attention. This is your future. I'm still just an outsider here. I've only been here for 25 years, okay? In order for you to be a Highland Parker, you gotta be here for 50 or better, correct? You gotta be 50, because I'm called an outsider every day, okay? But I need you to be as concerned with your city as this outsider is. I need you to stand up and fight. I need you to pay attention. I need you to be informed. If there's any information that you are missing, you are more than welcome to get that information from me. I don't care who you are, whether I like you or don't like you, you can get that information from me. Anybody who wants to read this audit, you're more than welcome to do so. I will provide that information for you. But I need you to be informed, and I need you to get out and put your boots on and be prepared to fight. Because if you think they're not coming, I keep telling you over and over, this is next on the list. It is next on the list, and we have to be prepared. There's nothing wrong with change. It's inevitable. But I don't want you coming in here and telling me that after you make that change, I got to get out. I got a problem with that. And we've seen that in every community. If you pay attention to what's going on in Detroit, You've seen it in every community from downtown to Corktown to Cash Corridor to Midtown. Okay. Now it's called New Center. Okay. And on from the north end. Every time they make an improvement, the people who are there get pushed out. I don't want to be pushed out. There is more than enough room in the city of Highland Park to accommodate us and them. There's no reason why we got to go. But gentrification is what it is. And I need you to be prepared to stand up and fight to survive. Whether you want to do it or not, it's coming. And I yield back, Council President.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Martin?
Oh, okay. So that's the interesting thing. Well, I can't speak on the schools because I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that. But yeah, I did hear the same thing about our court system. The 30th district is going to Detroit. That's what I heard. So yeah, there should be a concern about that because, you know, we don't have a court system. Then what does that mean for the city of Highland Park? So I do agree. We're going to have to speak, fight, and figure out what our next step is and what we're going to do. Also, I will say that it's important that not only that we have a high school again, it's important that our youth has skills. You know, it's great to have jobs come out here, but what good is it if they can't do a job? You know, I'm going to ask any of you, have you ever applied for a job that you couldn't do? You said yes. You have applied for a job. What did they hire you?
No.
No, right. But majority, and you're different. So you're different. You're one percenter. I don't know if you know that about yourself, but you're a one percenter. Normally, you know, we don't apply for a job that we don't have skills for. I mean, if you've never been a doctor, you don't go apply for a doctor job. If you've never been a truck driver, usually that's not the job you apply for. So what is very important is not only to have our high schools out here, but also to have job skills for our youth when these jobs come to Highland Park. That is very important for our youth. You know, our youth is our next generation and our future. You know, an idle mind is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. So I do have flyers about that, some things for our youth. And I am going to say thank you for sticking with us tonight. You guys appreciate it. Sydney, I wish it could have been on Woodward, man. I really wish it could have. I will. I have had some businesses call me and I'll be like, I heard it might be. I didn't say it was. I said, we're working on. Now, I don't know if you know how you hear things through the grapevine and somebody might have changed, like it's going to be on Woodward. So I hope that I'm not that catalyst that somebody else changed it to. It's going to be on Woodward. I did say we're working on getting on Woodward. That is what I said. So with that being said, yeah, we'll talk. With that being said, thank you, everybody. Love y'all so much. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Manica.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I just had one question. Mr. Spike, do you have applications with you tonight?
No, we had to get them, we brought them to the meeting today with the mayor. She had to see them.
Okay.
She had to go over, make sure the wording is right, as well as the flyers and everything, and the applications. So I can email you all that.
So for anyone else who would like to, where will they be located is what I want to ask now.
Bringing them here.
Okay.
Just did this today, so they'll be downstairs in front of the city is that area.
Okay.
Right there on that session, or
They'll be here at City Hall. Okay. Thank you.
Or you call me. I can email it to you. 248-228-6369, 248-228-6369 for application, waivers, and flyers.
Okay, I'll get that from you again so that I can announce it again, or I can put it on the page. Wednesday, don't forget everybody, city address that's happening, as well as on March 21st, that's Saturday, there will be a food giveaway at the Justice Center, which is on Hamilton at 10 a.m. until the food is gone. Okay, so don't forget about that. That is 10 a.m. March 21st, Saturday at the Justice Center on Hamilton. Water is my next thing. You know that we have a lot of things going on in the city. We're under construction. We should probably have a cert that says that, but make sure that a lot of you received a packet or a pamphlet on your door. Some people are not calling, or they're not paying attention to it. I don't know if they don't care, or they just like, what is this? It doesn't make sense, but you need to call and set your appointment to have your pipes redone, because if they leave your street and they don't have time to come back, or once they've done with this side, or where they designated, and they do have a time limit statewide as well. So it's not like it's just going to be, oh, well, they decided this their time limit. The state has given them a time span as well. You will then have to pay for it to be done yourself. Okay, I did speak with the engineers again this week. That is going to be a cost to you if you do not get it scheduled and done. Okay, and your water will be turned off because you won't be able to be on the system. Okay, Mr. Carl stood up here a little bit earlier and said, we're going to have a whole new system. You won't be able to be on it. You won't run to your house. So please make sure. And if you have some questions, ask those questions, to them. But it is essential for your household. If you are a person that owns property, it's the same scenario. You own that house that nobody's living in, or you're renting it, it's the same scenario. It needs to be scheduled to have it done. Okay, it's going to cost somebody, or somebody's going to be without water. It's just plain and simple. And they have been delivering to the door. Okay, we can keep saying what we don't see, what we do see, it's not there, but you have to. And again, that goes to interpretation. Okay, so I'm going to speak back real quickly. We have been here 4 years. 4. And so, of course, I think someone mentioned it, might have been Mr. Price, who got on the line and said, this is election year. But we have a lot of things that should have taken place somewhat in those 4 years, but they couldn't all take place in those 4 years. Things don't happen overnight that's been going on for 100 years. Okay, so indeed, there's going to be some things you don't see, you don't know. Interpretation is going to be per each and every one, because the interpretation we were doing tonight actually started with, can you park on your grass? And then somewhere around, I heard another interpretation about a driveway. So again, it's about how you interpret what's in the statement. So I get it, because our ordinance talked about the driveway. Well, that in a sense back then, that meant that you couldn't park on your grass. It meant that you needed to have a cemented or a tarred thing coming from the street to your house where you wanted to park. But again, it's interpretation. Or some people wanted to read exactly how you're saying it. You can't park on your grass. You want me to write orders, just say you can't park on your grass. But again, that ordinance that was written said that. It just said it differently. It just told you what you could have so that you could park closer to your house. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. And so with that being said, we gotta work together. I'm asking that the residents work with us, and we will work with you. But we are in a, I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas, but we are in a time that everything that we want to happen, it's not gonna happen that fast, and it's not gonna happen before the election time. Okay, so some things are going to happen next year, but it's going to be an extenuated circumstance from this year and from the other 3 years. So again, I always appreciate your thoughts. Some of you I will see afterwards. Thank you for coming, and have a great night.
Okay. Well, it's 1 minute and 33 seconds back. Okay.
I thought it was 2. I still got some more.
No, you ran over. You
Darn
about
it.
6:30. I
Oh.
would have. I have not said anything during council affairs all year, and I had absolutely no intention on saying anything during the calendar year during council affairs. Not one word. I'm through talking. 2025, this place did a number on me. From members of council making fun of my daughter's death to all the crazy stuff that happened. I didn't have nothing. I'm not talking to you. I got the documents, and when the time comes, I'll play that song. But tonight, I want to make sure that we get something very clear and concise. There is prosperity going on. There's prosperity going on in the city of Detroit. And it was actually called New Center first, and now it's called Midtown. So what I don't want to ever happen is for me to be in the hallways in government in Detroit and have the real, true, clear narrative playing out and to have a false narrative built around what's happening in the city. The only thing standing in the way of Highland Park's prosperity is this body. And I've gone places and people have said, y'all got something special going on there. Everything from Cocoon that was supposed to be here that's flourishing in the city of Detroit. Let's not even float the notion that there's some evil boogeyman called gentrification on their way out to take Highland Park. That's a lie. I've lived my entire life in Southeastern Michigan and in Detroit. Everybody around us is hoping that we get our poop in the group so that we can move forward with the rest of Metro Detroit. We are a part of Detroit. You can't get to Highland Park without going through Detroit. You can't get out of Highland Park without going through the city of Detroit. So let's cut that BS out. Everybody is waiting on us after 3.5 years of fumbling and focusing on stuff like weed and undermining the mayor. They want to know. They've asked me this question. What's going on with your city? And I tell them, go watch those meetings. There are people who are responsible. They can be held accountable.
Council President.
Yes, ma'am.
Finish, I just want to say something to them.
Go for it. You're going to make me regret not just wrapping the gavel and getting out of here.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to let everybody know that everything that you are doing to help with Gleveland is working. Thank you. Because we did send a letter to the board. And the board, we're waiting for an official response, but we got a letter from their review committee reviewing our request to have our rates based on the meters now that we've got settled. So I just stay tuned. This isn't over. We've got to get those rates down. We've got to get them to conform with the meter. That is going good. We're not stopping. I just want to let you know that progress is being made. They sent a letter saying they're going to set up 4 meetings, claiming that we had agreed to something 25 years ago. We have requested the documents to see that. And so I just want to let you know that we're chugging right along, because at the end of the day, we got to get that hidden tax out of the bill to get the bill down to where it's supposed to be. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, it is 8:14, meeting adjourned.